It's pretty amazing when you think about it. The incredible symmetry of our lives. How our entire journey, from our very first moment to our absolute last, is framed by two identical moments. Today, we're going to dive into this really powerful metaphor for what it means to be human, what we hold on to, and what we ultimately have to let go.
So, look at this. Our life kicks off with us being laid down by someone else, and it ends the exact same way. At birth, and then again at death, we're placed into a state of rest. It's this striking, perfect circle that bookends our whole existence.
And here's the crucial part. These aren't things we do ourselves. A newborn baby can't lie itself down, and, of course, a person who has passed away can't either. These acts are done for us. It's a reminder that from our very first breath to our last, we are fundamentally dependent on the care of other people.
But right from that starting point of complete dependence, something incredible kicks in, an instinctual, powerful drive. It's the struggle for independence, the journey to get up on our own 2 feet, which the source material we're looking at calls nothing short of a miracle.
And I love how this breaks down that massive effort. First, a baby uses every ounce of strength just to turn over. That's the very first taste of success. Then comes crawling, and suddenly their whole world gets bigger, inch by inch. Then they pull themselves up and see everything from a totally new perspective. And then, finally, that amazing first step.
And this quote just nails why that moment is so huge. The source argues this isn't just some developmental checkbox, it's a miracle because it's the exact moment that the idea of walking becomes a real, irreversible thing. I mean, once that step is taken, there's no going back. The journey has officially begun.
Okay, so let's see how this physical journey becomes a metaphor for our entire lives. That basic act of moving, of reaching out and grabbing for things, actually becomes the blueprint for how we live as adults. This comparison is just so powerful, isn't it? The idea here is that the very same instinct that makes a baby desperately reach for a toy, that raw urge to hold something and make it mine, is the exact same drive that fuels our adult ambitions. The goals get bigger, for sure, but the core action, that grasp, it stays the same.
So what are we all grasping for? Well, the source lays out these big ones. We walk through life trying to grab onto power, stack up knowledge, build our wealth, chase after pleasure, and earn ourselves some honor. This literally becomes the motion of our lives.
But after a whole lifetime defined by this constant forward motion, this non-stop grasping, the journey takes a really poignant turn. It comes full circle, right back to where it all started. I mean, just think about it for a second. All those steps we take, all the energy we spend, all the things we work so incredibly hard to hold on to call our own, a whole lifetime of effort. And then this happens. We're laid down one last time, and our hands are empty again. Just like we showed up with nothing, the source really drives home the point that we leave with nothing we've gathered. Every single thing we grasped for is, in the end, let go.
So this is the massive question the whole metaphor has been building to. If we can't take any of that stuff with us, what is actually worth the effort? What's the one thing that's truly worth holding on to with all our might?
Now, the source material we're digging into gives a very specific answer to that question, and it's rooted in its biblical worldview. So let's take a look at the conclusion it comes to.
The author's answer is that the one thing truly worth grasping, the ultimate truth, is the Creator God and Jesus Christ. This is what's presented as the singular prize to be won in this whole walk of life.
To back this up, the author points to this verse from the book of Matthew. It basically sets up a primary focus, suggesting that the whole point of our journey is to aim our energy and our devotion toward God.
And then there's the second verse from Philippians, which really echoes our whole theme of grasping. The Apostle Paul is quoted here, and he describes his life's mission as an active chase, a real effort to take hold of the very purpose he believes he was made for.
So to wrap it all up, the source's conclusion is this. In a life where all the material stuff will eventually be lost, this one act of grasping for God is how you gain everything that truly matters. It's the one thing that gives meaning to a journey that might otherwise feel, empty.
And that brings us to this final, really powerful question for all of us to think about. We're all on this path, from being dependent to being independent and all the way back again. So knowing that everything you can physically grab will one day be let go, what will you choose to hold? What's going to give your journey its ultimate meaning?